What is up, rockers of the Rock Nation? This is your favorite rocker, Rockerman X, here back with, well, another video. I know I didn't post a Raw or SmackDown reviews because I'm taking a break from it. And of course, I'm not really posting anything about what happened on Raw or SmackDown this week either because I kind of was doing other things on Friday, being my birthday and such. And Monday, I was doing other things as well, so I didn't really get to watch Raw or SmackDown and talk about what's going on in the Universe. But I figured, hey, something in the WWE Universe or wrestling community happened recently. I might as well talk about it. But before I say that, I apologize if I'm a little quieter than usual or if I seem half asleep or my voice because it's literally 10 minutes till 4 o'clock in the morning here. Just got done I wouldn't say watching, but listening to this CM Punk's interview explaining why he quit WWE, which really he didn't quit. So all you people out there on Twitter calling him a quieter, you know, yes, I mean quieter because that's what people tweeted him, but he was actually fired on his wedding day. And, yeah, I said it, as he said it, fired on his wedding day. And if I was him, I would have been so pissed off when we went on tirade. Yet, like he did, I would not let it ruin my day, but damn, I would have been pissed off. And he got a lawyer the 15 minutes he had to spare, too, so there you go. What the fuck, my voice went high. But anyway, it's just fucked up, this whole situation. Considering the fact, throughout this whole story, there's a general theme revolved around him. Well, he walked out, yes. Well, he didn't really walk out, but still. A general theme around him saying this. Doing what makes you happy. I mean, right now, he's no longer WWE. He's burnt on wrestling. He doesn't want to go any other kind of wrestling company ever again. Maybe later on in the future, which I highly doubt, but still, it's just ridiculous how WWE treat him from his point of the story. Of course, WWE's like, oh, he quit, blah, blah, blah. No. From his side of the story, which I believe his story, since he was the actual person, over the corporate WWE stuff. Because here's the thing, doing what makes you happy. He quit, he left, WWE treated him like shit, he could have fucking died in the ring. So yeah. That kind of tells you something right there if you basically almost died in the ring. And on top of that, I mean, right now he's doing comic books, he's doing other stuff making him happy, he's married to AJ Lee, or April, I don't know her real name, so I'm sorry. If so happens Phil, aka CM Punk, or AJ Lee, aka whatever her real name is, ever sees us, then, well, yeah. I apologize to you both, which I highly doubt you guys ever watch it. But anyway, it's just fucking ridiculous on WWE's side. Because WWE did nothing. They treated him like shit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a CM Punk fanboy here, but not sarcastic like that was an actually slow clap for him because I respect him for this stuff too. Might not have been one of my favorite guys, but he was up there. He's more my favorite back in the ECW days. But hey, nothing you want to do about it because WWE made him like shit for 4 years in a row almost. 3 or 4 years in a row. I won't say 3. But possibly 4 years in a row, WWE treat him nothing like shit. But at least you can say what a lot of people also suspect it was. Part of it just, it wasn't one big thing that caused him to finally do what he did. It was the tiny things that caused him. I mean, literally, as I said, the Triple H match that was supposed to happen, freaking, they worked him to death, barely gave him time to recover off injuries, concussions, surgeries at that. And part of it is WWE's fault itself from his point of view, and I can see it because, yeah, he says himself it's his own fault in a way, which I don't see it. Because he says, because WWE hammers this in your head that if you don't work, nothing good happens to you in business, you don't make money, and all that good shit, and it's just fucking ridiculous. And I'm saying fucking ridiculous a lot, but yeah. And I agree, in a way, I interpret this how I want to, and he even said it himself. Punk, literally, after that pipe bomb in Vegas, and by the way, case you guys are wondering, before I continue to this interview with Colt Cabana, which link to it will be down in the description, so yeah. But it's just, after that pipe bomb in Vegas, he hates that word pipe bomb now. WWE at that time needed that, and it really caused it to go mainstream. Look, I'm saying this to you guys. Look at everything Punk's done in this business. I mean, yeah, this is supposed to be about why he quit and stuff like that, but WWE screwed him over, so I'm just, like, giving examples right now how they screwed him over. Because, I mean, he sold more merch than Cena when he was the top babyface. Or top face. I don't want to say babyface. This isn't wrong to me to say top face. And then all of a sudden, oh, good, he gets a heel turn because The Rock's coming back. And The Rock's a part-timer, and I'll get more on this here later. But that really caused it to be a lot more mainstream. And WWE, around 2010, I want to say about around 2009, 2010 is when it started going downhill. Because around actually that time is when they really started being more PG and shit like that. I mean, probably before that too. It's just like, ugh. I'm trying not to bash WWE because this is not what this is about. It's just ridiculous how they treated him. I mean, and Punk, he pitched ideas for himself. But here's the thing. For himself to do that made perfect sense. Like, I remember he said stuff like at Royal Rumble, if he's going to drop the belt to Rock, it should be a triple threat match between him, Rock, and Cena, or whatever, stuff like that. It's just, what the fuck. And then, of course, he got Undertaker at Mania, which is only one main event, as he said. And they should win. And honestly, actually on Network, I rewatched that match too, at one point, and really, definitely, that was the best match of the night. You could obviously tell that. But here's what I don't understand too either. What WWE does to Punk either. They put a lot of part-time guys over him. Then someone's going to be there every night, and this is from his perspective. And I didn't know he had half of his injuries either too, until he started talking about them, and it just really makes sense. I mean, and on top of that too, he like I said, he pitches ideas for himself. WWE won't let him do it. But yet they let other stars do the exact same thing the very next week, or however long down the line it is. For Cena, for example, which he even said that. He didn't say what it was, but he said that. But, really, in a way, too, I kind of have to give respect to Cena and probably Orton and a lot of the other guys. Well, actually, probably everybody in the back, every guy, every superstar, and every diva in the locker room for what they actually have to go through. But Cena, of course, him, like from what way Punk said, him, Cena, and maybe Randy Orton's the only guys in that locker room that would go up and challenge the authority and actually say, what you're doing is fucking stupid, we should do it like this. It's just blah. And on top of that, too, Punk did everything Cena did back when he was champion. I mean, a lot of the superstars do that when they're not champion, but of course, I know Cena's the poster boy and shit like that, but it's hardly ever advertised and all the other superstars do it. But just sit here and think, this is just a food for thought type thing, though. It's really the way WWE works. Let me see. I actually took notes, too, from the interview. A little bit, not much, just a few. And Punk. The main thing, too, is he was also worried about being paid. I mean, if you think about why wouldn't you worry about being paid? I mean, when the network comes out, pay-per-views, usually about 60, 70, 50, anywhere between 40 to 70 bucks usually on pay-per-view. If you buy it on pay-per-view, when the network comes out, for 10 bucks a month, and you basically get the pay-per-views for free at the end of the month, if you subscribe for that month, you kind of got to think about it there for a minute. Even Orton came up to Punk and asked him what's going on, too, so what does that tell you? I'm pretty sure every superstar and every diva was worried about their payment, because if you think about it, that's just fucking ridiculous. And then another part I find ridiculous is W getting mad at him over CM Punk being on social media, aka his own personal Twitter, for saying the word shit. All because he sent out a tweet, because he was on all these Z-Packs, all these other antibiotics, all because he And really, they really fucked him up badly. All because, though, he tweeted out the word shit. Because he literally shit his pants during a match on SmackDown. And everybody found it funny, though. Even McMahon sitting there found it funny. He found it funny. It's just, I don't even know anymore. I mean, this is supposed to be about Punk, why he quit. And like I said, these are little mini things that happen that I can think can lead up. Just the little mini things that led up to him quitting. It's just fucking... I mean, he doesn't get credit for his ideas. Doesn't get freaking... I don't know. I'll get more on some of this stuff later. But Superstar's being able to do his ideas that he pitched, but yet he can't do them. Fucking WB undermining him for shit. And as he said, too, with the royalty checks, WWE won't send him his royalty checks, won't reissue his royalty checks. Stuff like that. It's just... I don't know anymore. I'm actually on Punk's side. I think a lot of Punk fans are. I mean, like I said, I was more his fan during ECW days. Kind of, it's just fucking ridiculous. I mean, he was ripped, too, of so many opportunities and so many things that would be good for business. And many things with his idea. I mean, and I actually took notes, but it's just to keep my thoughts straight right now of what I'm actually talking about. I mean, he had offers for sponsorships that would probably would have tremendously helped WWE. But like, oh, the Raw sponsors get mad. Well, if Punk's on his own independent contract, as he says he is, which I believe so, would he technically be able to do it? I mean, really, he has sponsorships, but yet WWE won't let him do it. But yet, a year later, Brock comes back, and they let Brock has a sponsor from no explanation from Vince whatsoever. Now, yes, I understand Brock had pre-signed sponsorships that he signed up for X amount of years, so WWE really couldn't get him out of that, even if they wanted to, but Brock was a nice guy, and of course, Punk and him, Brock together is great. It's just fucking ridiculous. Why someone else can do it, but he can't. And another thing, too, there was this UFC fight in Chicago, and I forget who was fighting, but he was going to walk his friend who was in UFC down to the octagon. And if WWE was smart, as Punk said, he even asked permission, WWE said no. UFC said, yeah, he could. But nobody, and as Punk said, I kind of agree, nobody's going to talk about the UFC, because no competition. Sorry to UFC, but it's really no competition for WWE. Nobody's going to talk about who won or who lost that UFC fight. Since it was Chicago and Punk's hometown, he was a WWE superstar, they was going to be talking about Punk just walking his friend down the ring and him being in the UFC environment, because the next day was the Royal Rumble. That would have gave so much or not I want to say sponsorship, but so much more. That's where I'm looking for it. Probably would have given it more buy, or I don't know the technical terms here. It just would have gave it a lot more promotion for Royal Rumble. It's just like, really? But yet, again, back to Punk being able to do stuff that they'll let other superstars do. They won't let Punk walk his friend out in the ring, but yet they let, or octagon ring, whatever, but yet they let Triple H walk Mayweather. Thinking about it for a second. And from there, too, and on the subject of Triple H, too, Triple H even, because Punk was singing to do the 12 Rounds movie instead of Orton. Here's the thing. As Punk said, Punk was offered the leading role in the 12 Rounds 2, which featured Orton, not him. He was offered, and then, of course, he agreed to do it. They went back and forth, paperwork being signed, but yet, during the scheduled film dates, it was a European tour, and of course, at this time, Punk was a champion. Punk told Triple H that, obviously. Triple H will get right back to it, but the next day or so on the internet, Punk read that Orton was supposed to star in 12 Rounds 2. No courtesy call? Anything? I mean, he was perfectly fine with missing the European tour. He didn't give a shit. But as he sums up, if he was a champ around the time, would Vince or anybody really want a champ to be missing the European tour? There's no phone call nor anything. I mean, this is stuff he actually said and he read, like I said, he read online in the leading roles, gave to Orton. Getting a picture, I don't even know. And this one, people can call me bullshit for reporting this. People can call us punk for saying this, but the Shield was basically the Shield was Punk's idea. I don't even care. That would be the perfect idea of Punk if they would have done it right, in my opinion. Really. I mean, Punk even said, I want 3 guys from FCW, which was Florida Championship Wrestling, yeah. He said specifically he wanted Rollins, Ambrose, but he didn't want Reigns. He wanted Chris Hero, or as I want to Cassius Ono, instead of Reigns. And on top of that, too, the group was originally supposed to be under his wing. If you think about it for a second, Punk is main event status. He should be doing all this main event shit. No. Honestly, I would have loved. Excuse me. I would have loved to see the Shield with Punk, aka Punk being the leader and stuff like that. And then after that, though, too, that didn't even happen. And they decided, and like literally, right after a new surgery on, I think his elbow, I think it was. Elbow or knee. I forget which one he said, and I just listened to it. It was like 2 or 3 weeks later, Vince, right after surgery, Vince comes like, hey, I heard the surgery was this, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, alright. Well, 2 to 3 weeks later, he's putting a match against Ryback. Yet, he's not fully recovered, fully rehabbed yet. In a TLC match, no offense. You can see where I'm disappointing here. And it's not for Punk, it's for WWE that I'm disappointed in. I mean, yeah, I understand they probably need a Punk, and there wasn't that many main roster guys at that time they could have. Even now, there's still not that many main roster guys. I don't know anymore. It's just fucking ridiculous. These little... No! And on top of that, too, this is... By the time Punk starts getting burned out really hard. I mean, with the Undertaker match, he felt like he had to, well, quote-unquote, kill himself just to get any time off. It's just... I'm glad Punk got everything he wanted out of the law, or I wouldn't say lawsuit, but when he called a lawyer, I'm glad Punk got everything he wanted. And he's definitely not the anti-WWE guy here. It's just fucking these little mini things. And on top of that, as I said before, he could have died while he's fighting. I mean, that thing on his back, he had a full-blown staph infection. Staph infection. Yeah, the WWE doctor wouldn't cut it off. Or he wouldn't even fucking... He just kept giving me antibiotics. Not the right kind of... Just a Z-Pack. It's just... Explain this to me, guys. Anyone out there can explain this to me. I understand WWE is the biggest wrestling company in the wrestling industry of today. But... After hearing... And listen earlier how disappointed I am. And I'm not trying to offend anybody. It's just, after hearing Punk's side of this story, and I'm sorry if I'm moving my hand in front of the mic, but it's just ridiculous to me. After hearing Punk's side of the story, I'm just completely flabbergasted, aka shocked at the way WWE treated Punk. I mean, and even Punk said he tried to help over the younger guys in the Rumble match, too. It's just, oh my god, I'm seriously... I'm seriously trying to figure this out here. And then Batista, and as he said too, Batista comes back as a baby face. Yet, at the same time, I don't think even Batista agreed with it. It's just, I really am disappointed in a way WWE And if everything here happened to Punk, he was miserable, burned out, felt like he had to die just to get any time off. Top of that, fired on his wedding day, which I would be completely pissed about, and I kind of am pissed about that and ashamed. I mean, literally, his butt dialed, and every time he tried to call someone about the royalty check, shit like that, it's just these little mini things WWE does. But you can't just look at the mini things. You have to look at the big picture. I mean, no, they do everything for John Cena. Give him, I mean, I don't think he's a face, but it's just, this is legit clap that I can do. Hats off. Legit slow clap for Punk. Mad respect if he had to go through all this. And if Punk had to go through this, think about all the other superstars in the back that's possibly going through this as well. You just have to think about for a minute, people, this is a huge ass rant video too. And if I had to, literally, if I ran a wrestling business, no, if I was a wrestler, the first signs of this shit, I would be demanding a bunch of shit. And it's just, oh my god. And if I ran a wrestling company, I would make sure my talent would get everything they needed to recuperate, make sure they got the time off they needed. I would be the nice guy. Yeah. I say this, I would be the nice guy. It's just... And AJ Lee. I can't say on that. If it wasn't for AJ Lee, I might have said this already, but if it wasn't for AJ Lee, Punk probably wouldn't have Punk probably wouldn't have got out there in a way. Because he was thinking ahead with AJ Lee. And AJ Lee, props for her too if she's leaving. I wouldn't blame her. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to watch WWE. I like the product, it's just backstage. Shit, this shit is ridiculous. Especially if the wrestlers are better than the creative team in the back with storylines. Literally putting part-timers over Punk. Punk was there every fucking week doing the house shows, doing the Raws, doing SmackDowns. I'm trying not to be biased here. It's just, I'm on Punk's side. I believe Punk's story went 100%. No, not 100%, 110%. Oh, shit. Like I said, I'm really disappointed in WWE. If this legitly happened to Punk, which I believe every word he said. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. Oh my god, I can't even speak. I wouldn't mind getting your guys' opinions on it. I really would. See what all you guys say, See what all you guys say. I'm on Team Punk right now with this stuff. I mean, yeah, I know it's all over, it's all said and done, but after a year he finally came out with it. He finally put it all on the table and explained why he quit, or AKA fired, on his own wedding day, which I can't get over that either right now. I laughed at it, but at the same time, I just can't get over it. Just ashamed. Very ashamed with WWE. And if this is how they treat their talent, and Punk's one of the big stars still, yeah. I'm excited to find some of his comic books. I really kind of want to read them. And yeah. Until next time, rockers, if you guys want to, give me your thoughts. Facebook and Twitter is in the description. The link to the interview, the hour and 40-some minute interviews, will be in the description as well. So you guys just can't call bullshit on me. I can't even talk right now. That's how... Ugh. But yeah. Just live free and rock, rockers. That's all I gotta say. And live your life happy. As right now, what CM Punk's doing.